What we have to remember is there's actually two parts when it comes to self-improvement and your healing, or if you want to just grow as a human being. And in this video, I'm going to discuss these two parts, and one of them you'll probably not doing. So make sure you stick around for the entire of the video, because I'm going to dive deep into why you are seeing no growth in your spiritual and healing journey. Let's dive in. So the first thing we need to remember when it comes to this self-improvement world, our healing, the spiritual communities, and evolving as a human being, we have to remember that there's actually two parts to this. And these parts are the knowledge and the ideas, all the knowledge-based things, the books, the courses, the videos you watch, the tutorials online, all of this knowledge-based information. It's all information. And then the second part is the embodiment of that. And if you're wondering what embodiment might mean, I'm just referring to the implementation of all of that knowledge. And what most people often do is get stuck in their heads. They get stuck in the ideas and the knowledge side of self-improvement and healing. They'll read that book and think that that book's going to heal them. They'll watch that video and just taking in so much information, because yes, in this day and age, there is an overwhelm of information. And so we are constantly taking in information, which the brain and the psyche isn't meant to handle that much information. So we're not able to process that. So what happens? We don't follow through with the tips, with the tricks, and it just creates more anxiety. So then it creates more stress on our healing journey, on our self-improvement, and then we get stuck in this trap of negative loop thinking and thinking, I can't do this, I'm a piece of shit. So what we have to do here is, rather than going from a logical, constant, information-based way of healing to a more embodied approach, because if we are constantly stuck in the thoughts, stuck in our ideas of how you are meant to heal, how you're meant to grow, what habits you need to start, what you need to let go of, what this is keeping us trapped in masculine energy, because the masculine is stability, it's logic, it's knowledge. And what is the feminine? The feminine is the flowing of energy through the body. The feminine energy is the embodiment part of it. So a lot of us kind of get stuck in these ideas and chase this ideal version of ourselves rather than embodying it and allow ourselves to drop from the ideas, drop from the stories in our head and into our bodies. And there are so many people now in the spiritual community talking about embodiment. And because I believe this is what is happening, is the feminine is beginning to rise and beginning to be restored to its rightful place. And so this means we are now having more awareness about this. She's coming through the feminine, the divine feminine is coming through. And so we are beginning to understand that the masculine way of thinking is just not cutting it anymore. It's making us out of balance as a society. So now the divine feminine is coming through and allowing us to drop from our head the logic, the knowledge, the action taking, the real masculine energy, and dropping into the softness of the body. And I know I've spoken about it before, that the knowledge, the books is just not going to cut it when it comes to your healing, because it means you are just chasing a version of yourself rather then sitting and being with yourself and going within and becoming more embodied with the knowledge and allowing yourself to sit and just be. So this is where we allow the feminine to come in and allow us and give us permission. Well, it's you giving yourself permission to heal, to feel again. That's what the feminine is doing now. She's coming through in order for us to feel, to integrate in our bodies and process, so then we can collectively ascend. We drop all the stories, we let go of it, and then we can ascend as a collective. So this is what most people are forgetting to do. They are just taking the masculine approach to healing and not embodying that. The embodiment part is the feminine. And when we are out of balance between that, your body will tell you that. Your body will tell you messages when you are just working through your masculine energy and you're not embodying things, you're not slowing down and allowing the feminine energy to come through. Your body will tell you messages of pain, it will send you messages of discomfort. It's a powerful thing. You will not be able to be in touch with your intuition because that's in the body. So when we do take the embodied approach to healing, as well as the logical mind, because we've got to take the masculine and the feminine approach, we allow ourselves to feel it, to heal it. We have become more in tune with our bodies and pay attention to those subtle messages that our body will always tell us. Because often what we do is we suppress things, we suppress emotions, and people still suppress emotions when they are only taking the logical way of healing, because they are not allowing the feminine to come through, allow themselves to be in their feminine energy and be in their body. And this means the body will continually hold on to all of the suppressed emotions and that haven't been able to be processed. So what does this look like when you begin to be more embodied and allowing that feminine energy to be there on your healing and spiritual journey? What this means, this might look like connecting to your body more, feeling any discomfort, looking at your body and doing some mirror work. What I do is when I look into the mirror, I completely strip down naked. I usually do this after a shower, if I'm honest with you, in the evenings, because I connect to that Shakti energy when it's in the evening, and I make some body movements. I look at myself in the mirror and I really get into my body. So sometimes I just stand still, I look at myself in the mirror and I take every ounce of myself in. I look at myself, at my body, and even the flaws, the bits I don't like, the spots, the dimples, the freckles, the cellulite. I look at every part of that, because healing is also about healing our insecurities around our bodies too. It's not just about healing inner child wounds, mummy and daddy wounds. It's about looking at those parts of ourselves that we don't necessarily like too. The other ways that embodiment can look like in healing and on your spiritual journey is allowing yourself to express emotions. Stop with the spiritual bypassing. Give yourself permission to feel. You've got to feel it in order to heal it, and this just means allowing emotions to be there that you may have been suppressing, that have been stuck in the body, that emotions have been stuck, and allowing it to flow through you. And when you do body movements and dancing, connecting to your body, this is allowing the energy to flow through you. You're allowing the emotion to flow through you and then out of you. It simply dissolves when you have awareness of an emotion and you allow it to be there. You give yourself permission to heal. And so this means, dropping into the body every so often and saying, how am I feeling right now? What does my body need? Because we often don't give it healthy foods. We don't feed it with water. We don't feed it with water, drink it with water. I don't know. But we don't give the nutrients that we need. We don't go stand on grass. We don't go outside. Most of us have a sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary. I don't know what that's the word. I think you probably know what I'm getting at. A lifestyle where you're like sat down a lot, you don't exercise, you don't go out. And so this means our bodies are really filled with junk, energetically and physically too. But what else can embodiment mean on your healing spiritual journey? It means implementing all of that masculine energy, implementing those tools you've learned, the knowledge, the videos, implementing things you've actually learned, not just a one-off thing that you've done. So this might mean journaling daily to really help process emotions, reflect on your day, reflect on how much you have grown, writing letters to your future self, writing letters to your younger self. These are things we can do to aid us on our healing and spiritual journey. And rather than just holding it all in there, you begin to embody that and do the things that you've learned about maybe on a YouTube video just like this, because you will see so much more results when you begin to embody that and come back into your body itself. You have to become more in tune with the feminine as well as the masculine. It's like the mind, body and spirit approach. You have to embody all of that so you can begin to fast track, if that's what you want to call it, your healing. So any shadow work you've done, or anything you've learned about shadow work, I should say, that you begin to embody that by doing that, and then you begin to be that healed version of yourself. So I just want to tell you a little story about Mary Magdalene right now. So when she first arrived in France after fleeing, after the persecution of Jesus, she arrived in France with whoever it was on the boat. I can't remember all the names. I think it was like her daughters, her sisters, and some people arrived on the boat in France with her. And so she set up kind of a community there. She started doing all the things that she knew and that she learned from Jesus. And the people there, the community there, they were so desperate to learn about Jesus's teachings. They were like, they asked Mary Magdalene, when are you going to teach us about Jesus? When are you going to tell us the stories? We want to know about his teachings. And they were so keen and excited. And she turned around and said to them, I'm already doing it. Basically, she said, you're already seeing that. I'm already teaching you. Because what she did, she embodied the teachings and did it in a community. So she helped support in the community. She set up a church. She did all of these things that were embodying the teachings of Jesus. She was being the teaching herself. And they were like, oh, so this is where we can begin to learn from that and actually implement things we learn on our healing journey, things we learn on our spiritual journey. So then when we begin to embody it, it becomes a natural state of being, and we connect more with the healed version of ourselves. We connect more with that ultimate highest version of ourselves because we begin to just be it. And it all starts with coming back into the body and restoring that divine feminine energy. If you found this video helpful in any way, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because I am on a mission to share my message as far as possible and to support and guide people just like you. So with that being said, I will see you on the next video. Much love.